Well, here comes the diva.
All right, here we go. We are on. We're rolling here.
Good morning. This is Detroit in Black and White. I'm Adolph Mongo. Just joining us, the diva, co-host, political consultant, shit starter, anybody else. I like your hair. Vanessa.
I like it too. Good morning. Good morning to Detroit in Black and White. Good morning, Allan.
Good morning.
Good morning, Adolph.
Good morning.
I like that blue.
Well, thank you, Allan Lengel from Deadline Detroit, co-founder, Washington Post, Detroit News, and the Eagle American. Was you with the Clinton scroller too?
I was not with the Clinton. I remember in ninth grade, the Eagle American in our ninth grade class talked to us and asked, talked about who wants to work at the paper. At the end of the discussion, said, who wants to work at the high school paper next year? I was the only one who raised my hand. People were laughing, but hey, I made a career out of it.
Well, I wanted to work on the school paper in Clinton, and
what was
they did it, the scroller. Yeah, they put a tech on me saying you got to have a C+ average. I didn't have a C+.
Oh, really?
Yeah. In other words, they know how to weed out folks they didn't want.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I wasn't getting good grades in junior and high school.
Really?
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Even after I helped you on that test in seventh grade.
I got
I
got 2 A's in the seventh grade, social studies and gym. Everything else.
Weren't you a track star?
No.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was.
You know what? I
was.
remember Adolph in seventh grade.
Yeah.
One of the kids called him the N-word, and Adolph tracked him down. He ran after him. Adolph was a speedster, man. He ran him down on Park Lawn.
Beat his ass.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I seen him at the reunion. Father was my counselor in high school. Father was the nicest guy in the world. He was just an asshole at the time.
So you saw him at the reunion, and what happened?
We best buddies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's all it took was an ass beating to straighten him out.
Yeah, but it is what it is. Well, let's get down to it. We're gonna
Let's get down to it.
Since you were late, I'm gonna go back. No.
Yeah, go to Allan.
I'm going to Allan. What is your
my
outrage?
My outrage is, I was watching last night. I was watching MSNBC and CNN. They had Jewish, not Fox. They had. I occasionally tune in to see what's happening in the other world.
Yeah.
But they had some Jewish students on from Cornell and some of the other universities who were really talking about, death threats and stuff. And I mean, it's just the anti-Semitism and against some of the Muslims are getting threats and stuff like that on the other end. But it's just so crazy that, I mean, all this hate just manifests. And we saw that during the beginning of the COVID with Asians, where we saw just people like stomping, grabbing like old Asian women on the streets in New York and beating their asses.
Over
COVID.
But you know what? You just talked about how this guy called Adolph the N-word.
Right.
That happens to us every day.
Well, I was gonna, you know what? It's interesting. I put a Facebook posting. And maybe I can read you my little Facebook posting here. I'm just gonna. I do a thing on Friday nights.
I talk to black students that's on campus these days, and they was feeling all the heat was this affirmative action stuff and the courts, and then you had the Asian organizations against affirmative action.
Yep.
You got all that,
right?
Now all of it full circle,
right?
Everybody hate everybody.
Right. And I'll read you just something. This is just a really paragraph, but I put a little posting every Friday night. And I'm talking about anti-Semitism, and I go, it's not limited to the Jews. Hatred. We got Muslims in the U.S. have come under attack because of the war. Asian Americans not so long ago were beaten and blamed for the COVID outbreak. And blacks, well, many say, welcome to our world, where we regularly face racism and hatred, no matter the reason, no matter the season. And and it's all the groups. When I tell a friend, when a while ago when the anti-Semitism was really coming out, a black friend in New York is like, well, welcome to our world, man. He goes, this shit's going on every day. Now it's a big deal, and I mean, we all have to stand up and push back when we see it.
Well, people can't get mad, and I don't like the woman, Rashida Tlaib. But how can you get mad? Her grandmama is still over in Gaza.
She's in the West Bank.
Right.
West Bank.
Well,
as people ask, you know the geography. The average person here in Detroit, who she was representing, don't know shit about what's going on over there, and that's been her issue. When she got elected, she went straight over there and started a lot of shit. But you can't get mad at her. She's Palestinian,
right.
And she support the cause. You can't get mad at Omar because they Muslims. They support the cause. Now people want them to. It's just like black students or black folks. When somebody does something crazy, don't call me and want me to apologize for this asshole that went and killed somebody, because I'm not. Listen, he got to pay the price, not me.
So you don't believe in the solidarity of the group.
Listen, I'm not a spokesperson for none of this shit.
You are a spokesperson.
No,
you know that. You're a black leader.
But listen, when I was in high school, when I was in high school, you know what? The athletes used to fight. Well, we used to have our little fight.
So when
they brought us all together, and I remember some of the white guys saying, "Yeah," they start naming the black students that was punching them and whatever. Well, why they can't all be like Joe Daniels or Adolph Mongo? Joe Daniels is like, don't put my name in that shit because I'm a different person. Yeah, he said, don't put my name in this shit. So listen, you can't expect everybody to be in lockstep. People are not signing off and saying, I'm sad and shit. There's people walking around with the Palestinian flag. You can just go down Michigan Avenue.
Oh, absolutely.
This is where we at, Michigan and Trumbull at McShane. It's a nice Saturday, cool morning. But you'll see thousands of folks, they upset at Grandpa. Because Grandpa went and flew into Israel and supported him right off the bat. Just a question, is that going to hurt him in Michigan? Because it's a tight race right now.
It's a tight race. I think what you're going to see, and you and I have talked about this, I think, look, they're not going to vote for Trump. He's not.
There's some people that's going to support him, but I don't know.
They may not vote for Biden.
Right.
But they aren't going to vote for Trump.
But Biden got the Democratic Party got two major issues. One, you got that lawsuit in federal court over redistricting. Now they might want to whitewash it, but you can't whitewash it. Right. Alyssa Slotkin is not a shoe-in for everybody that say, okay, we just gonna pull a Democratic lever, mark up, go straight party. It's not gonna happen. And now you got a sizable air population that's saying, man, fuck the Democrats. They left us out here to hang. What do they do? Whitmer already ran away from the problem because she should have just went to Dearborn and take the hit, but she didn't. They were going to protest. They were going to protest, so she runs.
Look, the U.S. is in a tough.
Think she ran?
Yes,
you think she made a calculated decision?
She ran.
A calculated political decision.
She ran.
It was a calculated.
She doesn't do anything. Everything's calculated.
It was calculated.
But she's still. But it's a run.
That's not a calculated decision. That was a calculated decision. It said, "Listen, you know what? I don't think I really want to say anything one way or the other.
If,
That's what I got.
if you had a gun and was pointing at me and I ran, that's a calculated decision.
But you running.
Yeah, that I'm gone. I'm gone. I'm not gonna stand there. Okay, let's
Well, here's
go
I
ahead.
just want to say real
One
quick.
last word.
You know, I mean, look, the U.S. is in a dilemma. I mean, Israel is the strongest ally. I mean, if you look around, you can see even the countries like Jordan and Egypt and Saudi Arabia that U.S. has a decent relationship with. If it gets down to it, they're not going to be on the U.S. side. Israel is the only one that's going to be on the U.S. side. So strategically, but I see where the Arabs and the Muslims say, "Hey, wait a minute." But here it is that Israel is attacked by a group that is. I up until that attack, I was always kind of questioning whether Hamas should be designated as a terrorist organization. I mean, they're the political organization that runs Gaza, and they have a military affiliation there. But after what they did, it's the U.S. is saying, well, the U.S. is worried. Really, the U.S. isn't coming in. They're worried about Hezbollah, and Hezbollah is another group that a lot of Lebanese are like, hey, we want to live our life here. We're not like our whole mission isn't to destroy Israel, and so they're coming in with their carriers and saying, hey, Hezbollah, don't get involved.
But it's
all Iran.
But they're gonna end up just like the IRA in Ireland when they started bombing civilians and killing civilians and not the army. People turned against them and they went another route.
Right.
They went another route. Let's go to you, Vanessa.
I said, should I do something local or not? So I decided to do something local, especially since everybody has been rah the Lions. I'm going to talk about Lynn Barney.
You guys are blue. You're Lion blue.
Well, this is really. I'm wearing royal blue and I have on gold because I'm a member of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated.
Uh-huh.
This year is our 101st year
of
existence, and we were founded in November. So every day I'm wearing royal blue and gold. It has nothing to do with the Lions. I think I made myself clear last week. I'm not a Lions fan or a foe. I really don't care, but I do care about what happened to Lynn Barney. Are you guys familiar with that?
The battle.
So this man has dementia. It's just outrageous how people treat the most vulnerable, children, the elderly, those that are sick, and these are family members.
Of course.
This man has dementia, right?
Yeah.
He has a wife here who suffers from some severe mental illness. Has an ex-wife.
She's a thief.
She's
a thief.
She and the son, right, are together. The man got $500,000 from the NFL, right, for the CTE, because he talked about it when he was able to talk about it. And his bank account is zero, and nobody knows what happened to the money. Wow. But there's a fight here. They want to move him from the nursing home a few blocks away to the ex-wife's house, who her energy is just negative.
And that's under foreclosure.
And the house is under foreclosure, but you have a friend like Dave Bing who says, hey, I'm going to step in and help. But you have the judge who says, look, I don't want to move him from where he is to a home, and then he may be evicted. So you guys have to do a plan. But it's a doggone shame. Someone who's considered who is, an icon in the NFL. I mean, a superstar, right? And Detroit loved him. He lived here for so long. Right. For him to be in this position is terrible. He has dementia. Yeah, but because you like that, does not mean that people should take advantage of you. And I'm always thinking about, damn, what could happen to me?
That's why you got to put in writing.
What I mean to my
if I find out that I got dementia, how would you know? How would you know? Well, they let you know that they give you a early.
That Alzheimer's and that dementia are closely related.
Whatever. I'll just go to Switzerland and let them put a needle in my eye.
And do what?
And go to sleep.
Oh.
Shit, listen. you know, you at the mercy.
If you have dementia,
you have the mercy.
do you really think that you will be able to have the mental capacity? No.
When I find out, when I find out,
when I
when you find out, that's crazy.
Yeah,
when they tell you got lung cancer, you before it goes to stage 4, you can say, okay, I'm out of here.
You have the early signs, and then it gets a little worse. But even at some point, you still have clarity. And it's like when you have people have dementia, it's usually, as you say, it's usually not full blown right away. It's like 20%.
What you find though
30,
is this: a lot of times people don't come to terms with it until after it's full blown. People are in denial. I know people who have parents that are in that situation. They would drive and get lost. They did not want to acknowledge that there's a diminished mental capacity there. So it's usually not until
people try to cover it up. People try to
denial. You don't want to believe that your mother, your brother, your
Let's take a break and come back because Allan and Vanessa might have it.
Thanks, Charles, for letting me use your gardening supplies. I'll make sure I put it back in the garage. Man, tending to that lawn is a lot of work.
Tell you the truth, Jim, I'm more concerned about keeping this house.
What's going on?
Well, you know, Sarah lost her job 2 months ago, right?
Yeah.
Since we lost that income, the bills have been piling up, and we're so far behind. I don't want to lose the house because of back taxes. I don't know what to do.
I understand. The same thing happened to my sister and her husband when he lost his job. Do you know that the Wayne County Treasurer has plans and programs to help people stay in their homes?
No, I didn't. Tell me about it.
Yeah, go to www.treasurer.waynecounty.com and see if you qualify.
What's that site again?
www.treasurer.waynecounty.com.
Got it.
Oh, we're back.
All right.
Yeah,
we are
so
back.
you were making a point. You forgot.
Hey,
Yeah,
To his
forgot.
point.
we're talking about dementia and stuff like that, but no,
dementia,
when
we
it
talk
helps
about
us, you know, normally it sort of creeps up, but you know, a friend of my sister used to teach at Grosse Pointe Park in the elementary school there, and she had a friend who was really bright, went to U of M, and the classmates started complaining to their parents that something was a little off, and they finally told her,
going to work every day.
Yeah, going to work, but some weird things were happening, and they finally had to tell her, like, hey, you got to step
Well,
aside.
that was a professor at one of the local schools here. A great instructor, etc. And then all of a sudden, they got that Rachel professor.
Mm-hmm.
They was killing her. And come to find out, she was like stage 4 of it. And and that's been almost 10 years ago. She got it. Got it
So
early.
this is what I want to say is when I start acting real nice, but you guys know
then
that
we're in trouble. But you better be nice to your sons. Better call them up after the show and tell them how much you love them.
They're gonna put you in a home.
You know what? Really, that's the last place I want to be honest with you. When I was younger, my mom worked in a nursing home, and she said,
It's the worst.
never, ever put me there. I don't care what happens to me. Do not put me in a nursing home. Thank God we didn't have to do that the way she left this earth.
There are it's one of the better nursing homes in the Detroit area.
What?
St. Anne Meads in Southfield. They really. It's not a fancy place, but they really take care of
a phone call during the show.
They take care of the people really well. The health, the medical is really well, and they have a chef.
Right.
So there are some good ones, but a lot of them are not.
I still don't. I don't want to be locked up in a room or have a roommate, another bed next. I don't want to do. I don't want any of that.
Absolutely. And look, personal care is so expensive.
Right.
To have a caregiver like at least now $20 an hour, that adds up to some serious money when you need help.
That's $20 an hour.
Nothing.
People act like that's a lot. That's not a lot of money.
It's not a lot of money, but it's a lot of money when you have to pay 24 hours a day for somebody to take care of you.
Well, we know they didn't do that with Lynn Barney's money, right?
Right.
No, they went to the
Yeah, and I
casino.
mean, you would hope children are like, okay, you are in a diminished state. We're going to take care of you. That's what we're here for. But I don't know what their relationship was with what it was with his kids.
Yeah.
But you would hope it would be. I knew it. I helped my parents out in every which way I could. As you know, my father lived to 97, but
That's a blessing.
yeah, and but you hope and you assume your kids, your sons are going to be good to you. They'll take care of you. You hope. You hope. And, but the thing is, not everybody's made to be a caregiver.
And guess what? When you said something, you hit on something. I'm not a good caregiver.
Yeah.
I
am. But
there was a guy that was pursuing me, and I told him, I said, listen, I went to law school. I'm a lawyer. I am not a nurse. I am not doing that. Now I will bring you some food, but taking care of you, I don't have the capacity. I get nervous. I get upset. I mean, I have a wide range of emotions when I'm dealing with someone that's ill. So I'm not good. So I would be the one that would have to hire somebody to come in. Now I want to stand over and watch, but I'm not good at that.
Right. I mean, with my father, we had to pay, hourly 24 hours. So I would. It was out in West Bloomfield. I would go out there twice a week. I slept over twice a week. On Saturday, I was there all day.
Were you the caregiver?
No, I ran we had caregivers, but I supplemented.
Sure
and my sister and brother, a little bit. I did
the main person, right?
The main person.
Yeah.
Which is how it usually
is in a family. It makes a difference
when
you have somebody that's there to have oversight over the individuals, because they know that there's somebody that cares, there's somebody watching us, that kind of thing.
We had, for a while, we had just 2 caregivers, and they didn't always get along, and I had to manage that. And they would bitch to me and say, "She's not doing this. You better talk to her about that."
Do you have a will? Do you have a will?
I do not. And listen, I practice probate. What a contradiction!
Wow, get on that. You got to get on that.
But I feel like I don't have anything to leave anybody. Listen, I took care of
Memories.
my kids. I took care of my kids until
You
they
hear
were
that,
adults.
Miles? Travis.
I took care until you were adults. I used what I have for me.
Your mom
Now, if
must
there's
threw
something
you.
left over, then
Your
then
mom
the
must threw
shares in
you
the
away.
bank accounts
Your
and that kind
mom
of thing.
must threw you out
No.
under the bus.
It's 2. It's Miles and Travis. But I mean, Travis and Miles, because Travis is older. But they know that I've told them, look, get whatever you can while I'm here. Because when I'm gone, I'm gone. Somebody just texted me and said, you don't have to be a nurse to be a good caregiver.
What you gonna be?
Well, no, I mean, a caregiver is, there's somebody who can. Some
intense.
people are good at it, and some people it's just not in their, DNA to do it. And I am a good. I was really, I came back. I moved back from DC. My mother died 5 weeks after I came back. She had
5 weeks?
She had acute leukemia. She went quick. I moved back here and helped my father. And then my father was around for 6 more years. And, we eventually had to get care. I was sleeping over there sometimes 3 times a week. And then we eventually had to get caregivers. So we moved him in to independent living in West Bloomfield. But he kept pulling the button. And a guy, instead of knocking on the door, just barged in the door, this big guy, my father being a Holocaust survivor, he sees this guy running in the room and he puts up his fist and they call me and say, he's got to have, that's it. He's got to have full time.
Put your dukes up.
Yeah.
And no question. Well, we was trying to get Eric Brown. He
right.
said he could hear us and see us.
Okay, he's going to try. I'm not sure what the
what's the problem, but it won't let him in.
Is he trying to get in by phone or on a laptop?
On a laptop. I guess on a laptop.
Okay, because either one, if it's whatever he's on a laptop, then tell him to try the opposite. If he wants to try, doing it by phone.
Eric B. Try the
Eric,
laptop.
if you want to do it by phone, if you're on your laptop, if not, try your laptop.
Can you call in on your phone? You just put them in the
You
speaker.
could call him on if you want to do that.
Yeah,
Call in.
Well, whatever. I guess I'll call him. That's who I was talking to. Let's see this. See
What
if
Eric
this
got to
works.
talk about?
You know what
You talk about me being a stuff starter. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. All right, let's see.
Yeah, so the same thing.
Listen, we got you on speaker. You might as well start talking. What's up, Eric?
We got your speakerphone.
Hey, how's everyone doing?
All
Good,
right.
good. What's happening?
So what's going on with this literacy conference you talking about having, Eric?
Well, when Vanessa and Allan, you get so sick and tired of hearing about it starts at home. So what I am trying to do is have a town hall, no holds barred.
Can you hear?
It's real soft. Eric, can you talk louder? Because it's coming in real soft.
Okay, you hear me now?
We can hear you, but we want the audience to hear you.
I'm talking loud.
Yeah, well.
Go
All right,
ahead.
well.
Yeah, so the idea behind this
It's better.
centers around getting parents into a room. People keep saying it starts at home. If you can get the parents involved, hear from them to find out what it is that they need and how can the community that care assist them in being there for their kids. Because you get the parents involved, so too will the children follow. So the opportunity to have them come speak up and share their piece, as well as what obstacles they might have, that might be the key to turning around this literacy crisis in Detroit and other urban communities in Michigan.
Hey, Eric, people, we talk about our kids can't read and they got all these issues, but you can go to some of these kids' houses, they don't have a book. Their parents can't read. So how are we going to expect the parents to play a role in getting these kids out of this rut that they're in, especially here in the city?
But you do have quite a few parents that do care. You have quite a few parents that are very involved in the parent-teachers conferences, parent-teachers organizations. And you get one or two, and the rest will hopefully follow. But it's going to take the voice of a parent as well to get other parents involved. And if you can do that and find out why they are not involved, again, that's part of solving the problem. Because Mississippi just came from being a 49th state in the country when it comes to literacy to number 21.
Yeah.
And they made a concerted effort, not just the parents and the teachers, but they made a concerted effort to care. So you get these parents to start caring, and I know some people have proposed the idea of monetizing the situation. Then if that's what it's going to take, that's what it's going to take. But we have to get to them on their level, understand where they are coming from, understanding what it is that they're missing and they're not getting. And again, in any situation, Adolph, Vanessa, Allan, people just need to know that people care about them. And if we can get that over that obstacle, we can change things in Detroit. Because I still find it appalling that a state of the Detroit Public Schools was given by the superintendent. He's bragging about a 12.4% proficiency rate for third graders, saying it's better than pre-pandemic levels. Where pre-pandemic levels was 12.2. So what the hell is he talking about?
This is unbelievable. Hold tight. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back and we're going to continue the conversation with Eric Brown, who believes that he has found a solution to how to improve the reading skills of kids here in Detroit and southeastern Michigan.
All right, let me.
Thanks, Charles, for letting me use your gardening supplies. I'll make sure I put it back in the garage. Man, tending to that lawn is a lot of work.
Tell you the truth, Jim, I'm more concerned about keeping this house.
What's going on?
Well, Sarah lost her job 2 months ago, right?
Yeah.
Since we lost that income, the bills have been piling up, and we're so far behind. I don't want to lose the house because of back taxes. I don't know what to do.
I understand. The same thing happened to my sister and her husband when he lost his job. Do you know that the Wayne County Treasurer has plans and programs to help people stay in their homes?
No, I didn't. Tell me about it.
Yeah, go to www.treasure.waynecounty.com to see if you qualify.
Say that again.
www.treasure.waynecounty.com.
Got it.
Some dates.
All right. We are
Okay, we're gonna wrap this up, Eric. We're gonna have to have you come into the studio and talk about this. So when are you looking at doing this this conference?
The first quarter in 2024.
Okay.
First quarter in
No dates
2024.
are set yet, the first quarter in 2024. And, Adolph, Vanessa, and Allan, just like you got this man that came in to get people to believe in alliance, I think it's possible to get a panel of people together to get the parents to believe in themselves.
Okay, you know I hate the Lions. We're gonna get you on before 2024, and we're gonna continue this conversation. Thanks, Eric. Too bad we couldn't get you. We had some technical difficulties. Eric Brown, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Eric.
Yeah,
So
Eric.
you wait a minute. You said, Eric, we could get you in the studio. We have a studio. I
Yes.
thought we was at McShack.
We are.
It's
This
ours.
is our studio.
He talked
Yeah.
about. I shouldn't joke. I'm not gonna joke.
Yeah,
So
don't.
he forgot.
Uh-uh.
He said that you and I had dementia, right?
Right. Yeah.
And he thinks we're in the studio.
Right.
That's all I have to say on the
Right.
subject.
I'm
That's
not gonna
all
say
I had
where
to
we
say.
at. Where we at?
Grandpa Adolph.
We had a grand. Listen, speaking of Grandpa,
Oh Lord.
Trump couldn't tell whether who was the president or dictator of Hungary and Turkey. He didn't get it right, man.
I'm shocked.
He was in Sioux City, Iowa, and he said, "Wow, I'm in Sioux Falls." He thought he was in Idaho or South Dakota.
I mean, he is a worrisome figure in this whole thing. And what the hell's going to happen? I mean, the guy's running, and he's got all these trials. I mean, he could probably pardon himself in the federal cases, but down in Georgia, it's a state case. They have a Republican governor, but the governor doesn't do the pardoning. They have a pardoning committee or commission or whatever. So, and it's a mandatory minimum of 5 years in prison if you get convicted on the RICO count. So, what the hell? We were talking about that. He's going to be behind bars, and they're going to say, "Okay, lights out, lights out." And I'm like, "No, I have to talk to Kim Jong Un," and they're like, "Yeah, right. Everybody has to talk to him." Like, it's lights out. I mean, we have such a dilemma here. I mean, if he should step aside. There's some candidates. I think
He's not going to do that.
Nick, no, he's not going to do that because he's trying to save his ass. He figures. I mean, it's a Netflix movie.
Now he like Nikki Haley.
He right.
No, I
Haley.
I mean, I'm saying as far as the candidate of all those candidates, I think
She's the most
viable.
dangerous. She's the most dangerous.
Yeah, she's the most viable. I mean, look, Ron DeSantis has got, Romney comments in his book. He says Ron DeSantis was posing with candidates or people in Iowa, and he said it looked like someone was pulling his teeth. The guy he's not a likable guy. And you hear a lot of times people say, which I don't give a shit. People say, "Oh, I just want to have somebody who I could have a beer with. Like, I want somebody who's smarter than me. I want somebody who's smart and rational. I don't care. I don't need to have a beer with our president." But if the gauge is for a lot of Americans who want to have a beer with him, he's not the guy you want to have a beer
I
with.
don't believe that, but okay.
It's like this. It's like
because I don't want to have a beer
when
with
I lost
CIA and everybody else standing
when
around.
I lost Obama.
No.
Remember Obama had a beer with Henry Gates
Yeah.
and the cop that beat his ass. You know what, Obama, I liked Obama for a minute, but Obama was an asshole when it came to, he didn't do shit.
You know
When
how
you
I
say
feel
he didn't
about
do
that. You
shit.
can say he didn't do anything. He didn't do anything that you
We had health
wanted.
care reform,
Okay.
although
Them
it still
things that
needs
he
to
did
be
do.
reformed
I mean, and then
more.
he got some F's in some areas, and he did okay in some areas. But that for me says that there's no perfect person. Now,
When you say he's not doing it, are we talking about for black people?
He says
or
that
for
about
general?
everybody.
No,
He
general.
says that about everybody. He says that about him. They didn't do such and such. They didn't do such
They
and
did.
such. You talked about Debbie Stephanou last week.
Yeah, name 5 things that Debbie Stephanou did. 5. Can you name one? Debbie Stephanou didn't do shit. I'm not looking right there.
I'm sorry.
What did
No.
Debbie say? If anybody can tell me what did Debbie
But you
Stephanou
know what?
did,
You don't know.
hello,
You,
Debbie.
I mean, look, you know what? We were talking about, you know, I hear this so often. People say that person's been in office and hasn't done shit.
But what
But
else?
people don't. I mean, you have to look at their actually look at
What?
their record
What?
and then say that statement.
I looked at her record.
What?
The record. What has she done? Have
I'll
your
give
life
it-
been better since Debbie Stephanou been in the Senate?
I think if you
Or
ask the,
Gary Peters?
Gary
I think
Peters.
if you ask the
Has my life been better
farmers-
with any of these people? I mean, come on, you know. Yeah.
But we don't have to, you know what? I supported Obama. But I mean, I have to like every fucking thing that he did.
Exactly.
He wasn't
I
a
agree.
damn Harry Houdini that made shit happen.
Right.
No.
You know what? He disappointed in some ways, but he's still my favorite president.
Okay.
I thought, because I grew up with Kennedy. You know, when
You
I was,
don't even remember Kennedy.
no, when I you know, when I was in
Well, he's over here
when I was in
laughing.
elementary school, I took a picture. You know, you have those bronze shoes with the picture of you, a baby picture. I went to Kresge's on Coolidge, you know, Park, and got a 10-cent picture, a beautiful color picture of John F. Kennedy. Took my picture out and put it in there, and I thought, that's the man. And then as you get older, you realize, wow,
well,
he
and
wasn't
everybody,
perfect.
at every black person house where I grew up in the neighborhood had a picture of who? Jesus, Kennedy, and Martin
Did
Luther
they have
King.
black Jesus?
You could get a white Jesus in our house, you know. No.
Have
And
black
that-
Jesus,
yeah,
right?
right.
Right.
What'd you have in your house? Any of those? Or?
Yeah, I didn't believe in that. Yeah, well,
I mean, your parents, though.
yeah, they did. No, they didn't have any pictures of Jesus or whatever.
Yeah, we
You
didn't
know,
have
the
any
Methodist
pictures
church
either.
didn't have all that shit.
We didn't have no
You
pictures
know,
in our house.
they wasn't falling out, and speaking in tongues and all that shit. It was boring as hell. Remember that
Did you go to church on Sunday?
Yeah.
What church did you go to?
Lomax Temple, Vacation Bible School, Sunday School, all
Wow.
kind of shit, man. And you know, when you start asking those questions, they don't want to hear it, you know. So I opt out at 15.
Oh, you got somebody say, I agree with Adolph about Stephanou. Okay.
And then she
I
hasn't
just-
done
look,
stuff.
I just
There ain't no
look,
question.
I just
Here we are.
Look,
Here we are. The Democrats
it
are
says abortion. She supported abortion. Supported Michigan proposal in 2018
That's easy.
to legalize
That's easy.
cannabis for
That's
recreational
easy.
use.
That's easy.
Food assistance program.
That's easy.
Foreign
She's
policy.
done
That's
stuff for the
Authorized
auto,
the
for
use
the
of
auto
military
industry.
force in Iraq.
She supported the bankers.
The auto-
She supported all
Right.
kinds
She
of
secured
shit.
$100 million.
No,
to
she
repair
didn't. So
and
that's
replace
it.
the
But
way
that's all. But
water
that's all.
lines
But
and
that's all.
plants.
That's
Economic
bullshit.
issues. You
You
said
don't even
nothing.
have to be in Congress to get all that. It's coming
You said
anyway.
Democrat- you said
Correct.
Democrat.
Listen, Democrats is full of shit. They threw Detroit under the bus on this redistricting, and it's gonna come back to bite them in the ass.
But
Now,
you
I'm gonna
know
just
what?
tell you,
Let me say
and
this.
Stephanou did a disservice when she got up there and said, "Okay, I'm stepping down." She should have stepped down there, and she should have let Whitmer appoint somebody.
But you
But
already
now-
know why she did
I
it.
know why she
Because
did it,
people
because
got
it's some
involved.
bullshit. Because it's
Okay?
some bullshit.
People got involved. Don't
It's some
play.
bullshit.
Don't play.
Yeah,
She
I
was
know.
going to do that. So, you know.
Did you
people
talk
got
to her about
involved.
that?
No, I didn't talk to her. I
Are,
don't
are
know
you
that.
saying she didn't do it because Alyssa Slocum became the anointed Democratic
Right.
There was some
candidate, or-
other stuff going on too.
Like
Yeah.
what?
I'm not saying.
Well, you shouldn't come in and throw it on the table if you're
I
not
can
going
do
to say
whatever
it.
I want.
This ain't the courtroom.
I'm grown.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
grown. I can do whatever I want.
But we all know. But listen, we got 2 Congress people, 13th and 14th. Nothing. 0. They don't do shit.
There isn't
One
a
can't
14th,
speak
is there?
English.
There
One
isn't
can't
a
speak.
14th, is there?
Yes, that's the lead.
I thought she was 12.
No, she's 14.
No, she's a 12.
She's the
12,
12. They're not really
14.
14. See,
So what?
again, what did we talk about
I got
earlier,
dementia.
guys?
I got
Exactly.
She was 13,
There
then
is
she
no
moved over.
14.
She went west.
Okay. It used to be the 50. It used to be the 60.
I'm trying to remember.
Detroit used to have 21. Now it's down to, it's going to be 5 in a minute. Yes. But they don't
So
do
even
shit.
when you talk about the redistricting,
Nothing.
if people don't get involved, they elect those people who elect. What difference does it make? I mean, really, it boils down to that.
All serious. We had last week. We had Adolph Mongo. What do you think of him?
I'm impressed with him.
But you know and I know, at the end of the day, there are going to be 25 people running in that district.
Well,
Yeah. You know, the 14th district was eliminated. I think
I knew what I was talking
Well,
about.
we never had anybody anyway. They could eliminate the 13th, and we still get the same services. Because Shree don't do shit.
Oh, he run a lot of commercials.
Oh, let him
Oh
run
my
the commercials.
God.
He campaigns a lot.
Oh my
He's,
goodness, he spent a whole
you know,
lot of time
there's
campaigning.
he
He's
was-
not the only one, but he spends a lot of time campaigning.
Labor Day parade, he's there. The reopening of the downtown synagogue, he's there. He's there for a lot of. He's constantly campaigning. He was there for the Corktown Business Association.
Oh, did somebody curse him out, basically?
No, didn't
Did he
curse
curse him out?
No, I was real nice. I didn't curse him out. I said he just ain't do shit. And I'm tired of hearing all that same
Adolph
shit.
gave him a hard time.
Same shit. I came here with $20. That's a damn lie. He didn't come here with no $20.
How you know?
Because he's a lie.
How you know?
It's
He came
a lie.
out with 14 because he bought a beer on the plane.
You know.
Well, get back to Adam. I think he's doing the right thing. He's getting out early. He's making his rounds. So, and I think he lost by a very slim margin, even with all those people in the race.
But it's
So-
not convinced. He's trying to establish himself as the front runner.
I like
early.
him. I like him.
Yeah.
And you know what? He's serious enough to know the issues and stuff, and he don't have to have some kind of little script. I came here with $20, so I did this or I did that. You know what? You got to, people see through all that bullshit.
Well, I will say this though. I don't care who it is, that whoever runs for office and secure their office, you got to be bold. You can't follow that whole Democratic line. You have to distinguish yourself to really impress people in terms of being electable and elected again. So I'm hoping he's young enough. But I know that he's really rooted in the Michigan Democratic Party. I'm hoping that he'll be bold enough to step out and do some different things.
He has to be so far out that nobody thinks they have a shot at it, and people who have money are going to be like, no, Adam's there or whatever. I was going to say, there's a quote from somebody who says that you shouldn't make fun of people's accents because that means they know another language. And so, but anyways.
You know what? I'll just leave it at that. But you know what I'm talking about when I go after somebody like a Shree who listen. I ain't mad at people like him if they can come in and
You sound like you mad.
No, I'm just disappointed in the people that put him in office. It's just like in Southwest Detroit, you had the Bachman team. The Bachman moved from Huntington Woods to Southwest Detroit, got elected.
Right.
Then he got his girl to leave, who was in Dearborn, came to Southwest Detroit, got elected. Then he got Stephanie Chang, who moved from wherever the fuck she moved from. She got elected. And I'm going to just tell you, and listen, the Southwest Detroit been the most misused, abused, and the bridge, that bridge that they built, the Gordie Howe Bridge, was supposed to have been down further, downriver. But the folks down there said, fuck y'all, we don't want that bridge. And guess what? Granholm said, give it to Southwest Detroit. They'll take anything. And there it
Southwest
is.
Detroit.
Yeah.
I mean, they basically dismantled. I think there's one bar left down near the river there in Southwest.
Well, let's take a break and we'll come back. She want to go to the bar. We'll tell her that.
Thanks, Charles, for letting me use your gardening supplies. I'll make sure I put it back in the garage. Man, tending to that lawn is a lot of work.
Tell you the truth, Jim, I'm more concerned about keeping this house.
What's going on?
Well, you know, Sarah lost her job 2 months ago, right?
Yeah.
Since we lost that income, the bills have been piling up, and we're so far behind. I don't want to lose the house because of back taxes. I don't know what to do.
I understand. The same thing happened to my sister and her husband when he lost his job. Do you know that the Wayne County Treasurer has plans and programs to help people stay in their homes?
No, I didn't. Tell me about it.
Yeah, go to www.treasurer.waynecounty.com and see if you qualify.
What's that site again?
www.treasurer.waynecounty.com.
Got it.
Yeah, you were talking about the bar. What's the name of the bar?
I think it's called the Black Horse or something.
I thought it was maybe a gentleman's club, but you say it's not.
It's not. No. It's just a regular bar. I mean, they got
But
pool tables.
it's just like
They have good tacos and all that kind of stuff.
But
and
it's
cheap-
just
cheap
like in
drinks.
Southwest Detroit, they had Southwestern High School. They put all that money, I mean,
Right.
millions of dollars in there. New track, new this, new that, and then they closed it down and they left it. Now
It's the Black Horse Cantina.
Okay.
Okay.
Now the Ambassador Bridge Company went to Detroit Public Schools and said, "We'll buy the school."
Mhm.
You know, no. They wouldn't sell the school. In the meantime, the thieves and the scavengers, they just took everything. And I mean everything, turned it into a shell of what it was, because these assholes. Now, I don't get it. This superintendent's supposed to be superintendent of the year.
Superintendent. He's supposed to be super.
Yeah. Well,
Well, what do you think? What do you think of the superintendent?
I don't. He didn't even send his kids to Detroit Public Schools.
Oh, I thought they were in the public.
No,
school.
one of
Too.
a couple of them, they play sports someplace else. That's some shit.
But
That's just like,
but they
remember
think
the
they
late
go to
April
schools.
Coleman? She was the president of the school board. She sent her kid to a charter school, and then they dogging out the public school. You can't have it both ways. You know, if the schools are not good enough for your kids to go to the school, why the hell are you here teaching? Why are you in charge?
To make things better.
That's why
So
I
that
get
your
back
kids-
to my
so
getting
that
back
your kids
to
can
getting
come
back,
and
getting back
learn.
to the my original statement. What has Debbie Stabenow done? Not one damn thing, because the state of education,
And what is war good for?
nothing,
Right.
absolutely nothing. What is Alyssa Slockin gonna do? I don't know. You
I'm
know,
glad you said that. I'm glad
I
you didn't
don't
say
know.
she's not gonna do nothing.
yeah, well,
I'm
but
glad
if
you
she
said
follow into the footsteps of our do nothing Congress people, we got two do nothing Congress people. One is under siege because she put herself in that position, and she getting her ass kicked. And did you see the commercials already?
Yeah.
They spending money.
For you're talking about
Yeah.
No,
No,
I'm talking about
to leave.
a pro-Israel Democratic
Right.
group is spending six figures.
Look, you know what? I tell you, the pro-Israel group knocked out Andy Levin, you know, and he, you know, which was really, when I first heard it, I'm like, wow, they're going against a Jewish person. But
Andy Levin, he calculated wrong.
Right, he
He should have
should
just moved right
Right.
to Macomb County,
Right.
and he would have got elected.
right,
Right.
it was foolish.
Right.
His father had part of Macomb
Right.
County, and he was popular there. I went to some fundraiser once out there. It was for some charitable organization, and he was there. Sandra Levin was there, and he's like wildly popular in there.
He's making some money now, right?
And he's probably working for some
and then
private.
Curtis Hotel Jr., it pays to lose.
Right.
It's $9, $10 a month to do shit.
It's like being on Shark Tank.
Damn, man.
What?
What?
It's like being on Shark Tank. Even if they don't invest, your publicity makes your company blow up sometimes.
So get back to my original statement. We have a delegation here in Michigan. That's the do-nothings. Tell me, what have they done?
I don't know. You know what? It's so hard to say because we don't study these. We don't see what they're doing. We don't pay attention. The media doesn't cover it. So we can say they're doing nothing because we don't hear anything. It doesn't mean, look,
well,
the newspapers here are not adequately covering our congressional district, our state house, our state senate. We don't know what. When I was in Lansing at the Detroit News initially, we had 13. Which was ridiculous. We had 13 reporters. The Free Press had, I think, 4 or 5. But we covered. I mean, you want to know what was happening in the state house and the state senate with the governor. We blanketed that. You knew if you really wanted to know. But now
they don't have anybody. They don't have anybody.
Let's get back to the statement. I want to make sure that someone just texted and said that the superintendent's children do not go to school to Detroit.
In Detroit, I thought I knew they did.
Well, that's the
at
problem
one point.
because you're the superintendent.
Right.
You're the super person. What does that say about what you feel about the entity that you represent?
That's like feeding a group of people some food, but you won't eat it.
Well,
it's like
I'm not gonna eat it because it got something in it.
You remember Lou's Deli? Remember Lou?
Oh yeah.
It's still,
6 miles.
But Lou is dead. But anyway, they did a big story on Lou's Deli one time, and they talked to the owner. He was alive then, and he said, and I used to love going there, but then when I read it, he said, "Well, we don't use kosher food anymore and stuff." Yeah. I'm like, he don't even eat the shit.
Right.
I said, why would I go there and buy a sandwich now? If he's not eating it, why would I buy it?
Well, you want to know something? In
if
Israel,
if he's not sending his kids to the Detroit public school, why should I send my kids?
Netanyahu, can I say real quick?
Yeah.
Netanyahu's son. Here it is. They're in the middle of a war. You've had Israelis come from all around the world, from the U.S. and different countries, gone back to Israel to go in the army during this war. Netanyahu's like 31, 32-year-old son is in Miami.
Partying.
He's in Miami. It's like, so it's a big...
What are he supposed to do? Get a uniform on?
Well, everybody else is coming home. Yeah. His father's sending people to war.
Why he can't stand apart from his father?
Well,
he's not his father.
Yeah,
I'm my father's son. I don't have to do what my father does.
How do you feel?
But he's taking the father.
He's sending soldiers to war. They're dying, and his son is in Miami.
I want my son to be at home. Go ahead and go on a party in Miami.
I mean, it's his prerogative, obviously. I mean, he didn't sign a contract with his dad like you're my dad, and you can.
I didn't ask to be here, Dad.
But it doesn't look great. It's like
Peter. Look, you and my mama decided.
You remember that?
I didn't decide to be here. So listen.
BD doesn't have to send his kids.
Exactly.
He doesn't have to, but I feel obligated if I am the superintendent. I'm not going to send my kids to a private school. I'm running the shop here, and it's like, what's the message you're sending to people? It's good enough for you, but not good enough for me.
Right.
You're running a public school, and you're like, and there's a battle going on constantly.
I'm cooking barbecue. I ain't eating it, but I'm giving it to you.
I do it all the time. You know that. I do that all the time.
Right.
So, I'm not saying that. I do think it speaks volumes about if you're the superintendent and you don't have any confidence
And
in
that
the
they
school
that they go,
that your
yeah.
children go to, unless, and I don't know.
You try to
I
make
don't know.
it. You try to make those.
Does his children have some special situations or something?
Yeah, they daddy
requires them to
can
go.
afford them a tuition in another district.
But you know
That's
what?
right.
You know what? You're going to be a little bit. You're going to work even harder. Your kids are going to school. You're going to make sure that their school that they're going to is good. You're going to try a little harder. You've got more invested in. It's like, the question is, should cops, all the cops live in the city of Detroit? Ideally, it'd be nice.
Well, they say they first responders, but how the fuck you can respond to something you living up in the thumb? So by the time you get to Detroit, whatever happened it's over with. Or you living in Toledo, it's over with. Or you got cops living in Grand Rapids driving to Detroit.
Do you have that?
Yes, we got that. God, man. But listen, people.
Well, who are you mad at though?
I'm mad at Dennis Archer. Because he was an architect. It don't matter. But the shit that he did, he left oh man,
DC
collateral damage here.
DC did not have a residency requirement for the cops, but they did have people who provided free housing, gave cops free apartments and stuff if they were living in the city. They tried to create incentives. So even if they don't have a legal mandatory residency requirement, they should be doing stuff to lure people to say, hey, I'm going to get you an apartment, and we've got a group of donors.
So they gave them free housing.
Yeah.
Who's paying the utilities in the house?
I don't know all the details on that, but look, if you're embedded in a neighborhood,
where were these apartments?
They were a nice neighborhood. They were not
a nice neighborhood.
Well, yeah. I don't want to say they weren't fancy neighborhoods by any chance. They weren't totally low crime neighborhoods, but they were when the cops were living there.
Well, anyway, we're gonna put this to bed. This is a euthanasia. Put you to sleep. Until next week, your final thoughts, Vanessa.
Oh, Northwest Art Gallery is having an exhibit. I'm going to encourage people to support the arts in the city of Detroit. There's a exhibit at Northwest Gallery today. I think it starts at 1 o'clock. Let me see. Let me look at my messages. But I'm going to encourage people to go. It's called Women in Love, and it's a local artist, Mandisa Smith.
Okay.
And it opens today. So go check it out.
All right. In that vein, I will say that I saw a play last night called 8 Nights.
Where?
It was over at the Detroit Public Theater on 3rd Street. It's basically it's a dark play about a Holocaust survivor who after the war tries to shield her children and her grandchildren from knowing about her experiences during the war and stuff like that. And I'm sure it was interesting. It was dark. It was very well done. But it's a very cool theater. I went there about 3 weeks ago. Marty Barron, the former Washington Post editor, has a book out, and Stephen Henderson interviewed him before a crowd. It's a very cool venue. They have a bar there. It's a cool place.
Yeah.
Detroit, it's sad there are not. I look, the movie theater. I think it was on. I can't remember. It was 2nd or 3rd Detroit Cinema.
It's closed now.
It's closed.
Well, people watching Netflix. They have.
But it's still nice. The DIA is still.
So are you gonna go to a theater that got 14 theaters in it?
A multiplex.
Right.
No.
Ain't nobody doing that shit anymore.
Yeah, there are people. There's people who want to get out of the house, so you don't want to be watching everything on Netflix. It's like,
Well, anyway,
want the popcorn experience,
Whatever. Go to the drive-in.
Yeah.
The drive-in.
Yeah,
How many drive-ins are left
I
here?
don't know. The only one I know about is the one that's on
Fort
Wyoming. And
they got your picture up there. They got your picture up there saying, go back to the good old days. Don't let her in. The last time I was there, what's the guy who named Rodney?
I never get it. No respect.
Dangerfield.
He was in the movie. That was the last time it was.
Oh wow.
Well, anyway,
He's been dead since like 2007 or
And
something.
that had to be like in the 80s. I was
Yeah,
in college. But yeah.
you probably one of those people, Lengel. You hid in the trunk.
You know what? A friend, Tom Berkowitz, lived right behind the west
Side, you can see.
The west side. So he lived right there. So there was a fence where you could sneak in. So we three of us went one night, snuck in, and the manager was like snuck up behind us. He caught two of us. Tom got away. We were sitting there. The cops came. The Oak Park cops came. They picked us up, and they were driving us in the back of the car. And then they said they got a call. They said, "Get out! Don't go in there."
But if
again."
that was me, I'd been in juvenile hall. But anyway, we're gonna say goodbye till next week. Detroit in Black and White. Thanks,
Bye.
Bob Roberts here at McShane's, Michigan and Trumbull. Allan Lengel, Vanessa Moss. Thanks, Teresa.
One more thing, though,
Go ahead.
before we go. Like, subscribe, share. Like, subscribe, share. And those people that are guests, if you could come in, we'd rather have you in because we don't know if we're going to experience technical difficulties or not. Have a good weekend.